After 20 long years fighting monsters from beyond dimensions, Lim Dae-in finally hangs up his sword. The world is safe, his job is done, and for the first time, peace doesn't sound like a myth. He celebrates, drinks, laughs, the kind of night that says, yeah, you made it. But the next morning, he wakes up in the wrong century. Lim opens his eyes expecting his soft mattress and city view apartment, but finds a cracked ceiling, peeling wallpaper, and the faint smell of instant noodles. His heart stops. This isn't retirement paradise, and it's his old college dorm. The one from 20 years ago. He grabs his phone. The date reads 2018. For a second, he just stares, then launches the phone at the wall. This has to be a joke, he yells, half hoping some cosmic prankster is listening. Yeah, the universe clearly missed the memo about retirement benefits. Then something glints on his wrist. A watch. Not just any watch, but the rare one his old friend Jong Cho gifted him years ago. A memory flickers, Yang joking about how it might be a relic from some ancient mage. Could this thing be responsible? Did he time travel because of a watch? Some people get Apple Watches. Lim gets one that breaks physics. His thoughts are interrupted by violent knocking. An angry voice yells from outside, the dorm owner's son. This guy's the self-proclaimed king of karaoke, throwing parties loud enough to summon demons. He barges in, demanding to know what's with the noise, and while he's here, he'll take some compensation. Maybe that shiny watch? Lim just stares at him, calm but cold. When the bully reaches for the watch, Lim slaps his hand away, then returns the favor with a sharp smack to the face. Blood splatters. Years of frustration and bullying flash through Lim's mind, and this time, he doesn't hold back. A knee to the face, one clean strike, and the guy's out cold. Guess history really does repeat itself, just with better reflexes. Lim straightens his collar and mutters, "Time to move out." Outside, the city hums. 2018. The year everything started. He remembers what's coming next, the construction accident that wrecks his knee, and the very first monster gate, but this time he's ready. His body's weaker, sure, but his mind, it's 20 years sharper. He feels the faint buzz of mana under his skin, like muscle memory from another life. Then hunger hits, and the kind that says, you've time-traveled on an empty stomach. That's when the ground rumbles. A faint blue shimmer appears nearby, a gate opening. Workers freeze. Nobody even knows what a gate is yet. And then, monsters spill out. Panic erupts. People scream and scatter as crimson-furred beasts leap from the portal. A little girl cries for her father, trapped between two snarling wolves. Without thinking, Lim charges forward. He yanks her out of danger and shields her with his body. "Run!" he shouts. He grabs a nearby claw hammer. Not exactly a hero's weapon, but it'll do. The first swing lands clean. The second sends a wolf crashing into scaffolding. Then more come. Sweat drips, his breath burns, and hunger makes his hands shake. He grins. You guys look kinda delicious. Yeah, hunger really brings out his inner monster hunter. The wolves hesitate. Maybe they remember him from another life. He dodges, kicks, and fights like a man reborn. His knee feels perfect, his movements sharp. But one hammer won't last. He slips the watch off and clenches it around his fist like brass knuckles, then swings. The blow lands hard and the wolf goes flying. The watch doesn't even scratch. Lim blinks. Okay. Noted. Indestructible. Soon, sirens blare. The police, still clueless about mana, arrive with old-world weapons. The monsters retreat, the chaos fades. Lim's jacket, however, is ripped beyond saving. And that somehow annoys him more than the time travel. A man approaches, thanking him for saving the girl and asking where he works. Maybe he can reward him. Lim chuckles. No job. Not even registered as superhuman yet, just woke up like this. The man insists on taking his number anyway, calling Lim a hero. Lim just waves it off and disappears into the crowd. Whispers ripple through the city. A new, awakened one. Young, strong, mysterious. Later, Lim finally sits down for a hot meal, beef soup. The first proper food of his second life. The flavor hits deep, almost nostalgic. As he eats, his phone buzzes. News of the unknown hero is already spreading. In this timeline, superhumans are still new. Guilds are rising. Corruption's brewing. Lim knows the disaster's coming next, the 6 great crises that will tear this world apart. He leans back, smirking to himself. This time, he mutters, I'm retiring in 3 years. For real. Because saving the world once was exhausting, twice would just be bad planning. A day later, Lim finally gets a moment to breathe. He's sitting in a quiet cafe, savoring a cup of tea like it's the first real peace he's had in years. His phone buzzes nonstop, messages, notifications, headlines about the mysterious new hero. He just smiles, sipping calmly. Let them talk. Then a stranger approaches, sharp suit, confident smile. Are you Lim Dae-in? He asks. Lim nods. The man introduces himself as Kim Gilson, manager of the ruling family guild, one of Korea's biggest names. He praises Lim's monster fight video and says he's come personally to offer a contract, assuming Lim hasn't signed yet. Before Lim can even reply, the cafe door swings open. A woman strides in, elegant and radiant. She looks at Lim, tilts her head, and says, You're even better looking in person. Yeah. Nothing like flirting mid-recruitment war. Moments later, another man barges in, this time from the Warrior Guild. Within seconds, the place turns into a marketplace. Every guild rep in town seems to have tracked Lim down. They crowd around him, each shouting louder offers than the last. Salaries, bonuses, luxury cars, you name it. Finally, Lim sighs. Everyone, quiet. His voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. One more word and I'm not joining any of you, no matter what you pay. Instant silence. Even the espresso machine hesitates. He suggests they move somewhere private. The next second, the scene shifts, a sleek, soundproof conference room. Lim crosses his arms. Let's make this quick. What kind of premium can you offer? Kim Gilson adjusts his tie, clearly thrown off by Lim's composure. He says the contract has confidential clauses. Very exclusive, of course. He asks why Lim won't hear every offer first. Lim, eating cake like it's the most important thing in the room, casually asks, So, you're with the ruling family guild, right? Kim proudly nods. 1.5 years of tradition. Lim raises an eyebrow. 1.5 years? That's not exactly history. He leans back and smiles. Good luck with the merger you'll have next month. Before Kim can respond, a young voice from behind yells, 1 billion won! Every other manager immediately ups their bids, 1.5 billion, 1.8, 2 billion. Lim just keeps sipping his tea, amused. He wonders how much his old guild, the Black Hounds, would throw on the table if they knew who he really was. Then, a familiar voice speaks. It's the elegant woman again, Beck, manager of the White House Guild. She calmly says, 2 billion. Top salary, full benefits, access to rare mining zones. Lim glances at her, intrigued. He knows the White House Guild is new, but within 3 years it'll rise to Korea's top 3. He smirks, so that's why she's fighting this hard. Everyone else, he says, leave your cards. I'll keep in touch. The room empties, leaving only Lim and Beck. She crosses her legs, meeting his gaze. I watched your fight video 12 times before coming here, she admits. Her tone is polished, professional, but there's a spark of curiosity. You were just a normal civilian yesterday. Now you're... This, Lim smiles faintly. Guess I'm a fast learner. In his old life, he'd never have imagined such an offer. Then, pen in hand, he adds a few lines of his own. When Bayek reads them, her jaw drops. Are you joking? Lim shakes his head. Not at all. His additions? A 4-day work week, fixed hours, and the right to refuse long-term missions. Bayek stares at him. You do realize this is a guild, not a desk job? Lim shrugs. You'll thank me later. Because burnout doesn't look cool, even in armor. She exhales, half annoyed, half impressed. Where do you get this confidence? Lim smiles. Experience. Beck finally stands. I'll review this and get back to you in a few days. Oh, next time. Do you prefer wine or coffee? Lim says nothing. He's learned the hard way. Never show too much interest too early. What she doesn't know is that her father runs the entire guild. Once she leaves, Lim heads straight to the Korean Disaster Management Center. Time to make it official. His new registration as a superhuman. At the front desk, a nervous young clerk apologizes that her supervisor's away. Lim, polite but firm, says he's in a hurry. She calls her boss, explaining a new applicant is here, a man claiming superhuman strength. Lim plays it down. Just physical ability. No special powers. A harmless lie. After all, nobody believes in magic yet. Not in this year. The clerk leads him to a strength testing room. A barbell rests on the floor, 200 kilograms. She asks him to try lifting it. Lim grabs it with one hand and raises it effortlessly above his head. The girl gasps. "That's 200 kilos!" Lim just smiles. Good to know. Some people lift weights. Lim lifts disbelief. She apologizes for doubting him and hands him a temporary certificate. He thanks her and turns to leave when the doors open. A man walks in. Sharp suit, slicked back hair. Trouble. Ju Sang-woo, the head of the Superhuman Support Center. Lim freezes. He knows this man from his past life, and nothing good ever came from crossing him. He makes a mental note. Never come back here again. Ju looks at Lim and smirks. "So this is our new supernova." Lim forces a polite smile and walks out before the man can start digging. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a pollution control zone long abandoned after monster attacks. Broken signs, cracked concrete, eerie silence. Within a year, a gate will open here, a direct link to the Gaia continent, a world of magic and steel. And Lim plans to buy this land cheap knowing what's coming. Why? Because one man's cursed zone is another man's future gold mine. Real estate tips from a time traveler. Invest early, survive longer. As he scouts the area, distant screams echo. A girl's voice shouts, "Don't come closer!" Lim recognizes the language instantly. Gaia tongue. Heart pounding, he runs toward the sound, activating his concealment skill. His body fades into the background, an assassin's art he hoped he'd left behind. He spots the scene. 3 thugs cornering a small girl. She tries to summon a fireball, but it fizzles out. The men laugh. "Do that again, kid. Maybe we'll pay for the show." One offers her food if she surrenders. Lim notices the red serpent tattoo on their arms. Human traffickers. The kind he's ended before. With no guards in sight, he drops his concealment, silent as a shadow. In one swift motion, his knife flashes. The first man falls, then the next 2, throats cut before they can react. The girl stands frozen, trembling. Lim wipes the blade, coughs lightly, and kneels. He asks gently in her own language, "You're from Gaia, aren't you?" Her eyes widen. He can speak her tongue. Then her stomach growls. Lim chuckles softly. "You like meat?" Because nothing says welcome to Earth like a free meal and a near-death rescue. After a quiet pause, the girl finally thanks Lim for saving her life. She promises that someday, somehow, she'll repay him. Lim just tilts his head and asks how many servings she usually eats. The girl blinks, confused, clearly not the kind of question she was expecting. Guess gratitude doesn't fill the stomach, huh? Trying a different approach, Lim asks if she came through the dimensional gate alone. She dodges the question. He pushes further, asking where she's from, her home, even her age, but she keeps silent, like a wall of mystery with flaming hair. In the end, Lim learns absolutely nothing. Classic. Then the girl breaks her silence. She admits she doesn't understand this world, can't talk to anyone, and barely has the strength to stand. She says she can control fire. Well, sort of. Lim scratches his head. Babysitting a fire hazard definitely wasn't on his to-do list. Still, he offers her a deal, 1 month. He'll teach her the local language, give her basic knowledge, and in return, she'll help with chores and errands. The girl's eyes light up. "Really? I can stay?" she asks, grinning wide. Lim sighs. He can already tell he's going to regret this. She introduces herself as Lily, and her name hits him like a spark to dry wood. It sounds familiar. Lily. Fire. The memory clicks. The Fire Witch of Gaia, one of the 6 disasters. The monster destined to burn half of Seoul 10 years from now. The same fiery hair. The same name. Lim freezes. Great, he just invited future world destruction to dinner. Later, they're walking through the crowded marketplace. Lim says he'll cook something special tonight and heads to the counter. He asks the vendor for Predator F, a weird but mana-rich meat that became common after the dimensional gate opened. People don't appreciate it yet, but Lim knows it's packed with power. Seeing Lily beside him, the vendor takes pity and tosses in extra food for free. Then comes the fun part, clothes shopping. Lily points excitedly at a fancy red and white dress, but Lim shuts her down immediately and hands her a plain tracksuit. More practical, he says. She pouts, but he still buys her a few identical sets. because nothing screams fashion like matching sweatpants. Back home, Lim proudly serves his manna-infused dinner. Lily eyes the dish like it might attack her. Lim insists that healthy food always looks weird. She sniffs it, admits it smells decent, and takes a bite of chicken. Her face lights up, pure bliss. Delicious! I only want chicken from now on. Lim warns that if she leaves the rest, he'll dump it in the soup. They both try the soup. Lim nods with fake confidence while dying inside. So much mana. Yet, zero flavor. He quietly laments that in another timeline he'd be eating gourmet meals, not this glowing sludge. After dinner, Lily complains her tongue's numb. Lim rolls his eyes, tells her to wash the dishes, and sits down to meditate. He uses the Great Sea of Mind technique, an advanced method to deepen his mana control. Surprisingly, his power grows faster than before. Maybe proper nutrition really is the secret. He grins at the thought. This time he might surpass his old self. Just as he finishes meditating, his stomach growls. Lily smirks and waves another chicken leg in his face. Lim sighs defeated. The two end up eating the awful soup again, and Lily screams in protest. Truly a meal worth remembering. For all the wrong reasons. 2 days later, Lim feels stronger than ever. Strong enough for treasure hunting. Then his phone rings. It's Beck, his guild contact, sounding annoyed. She teases that he didn't even bother calling her first. Lim apologizes, saying he's been busy. They talk business. The contract renegotiation isn't going well, and Beck admits their leader refuses to budge. Still, she says they'll hire him if he proves himself in a test. Lim chuckles. A test, huh? He agrees immediately, but with one condition. Soon, Lim and Lily arrive at the White House Guild headquarters. Beck raises an eyebrow at the little redhead beside him. Lim smoothly explains she's his stepsister, recently back from abroad, still learning the language. Lily, meanwhile, stares at Beck like she's seeing a goddess. She whispers in her own tongue, asking who the pretty lady is. Lim casually replies, she's the one who gives us money. Lily gasps. Oh, then she's a good person. Can't argue with that logic. Moments later, the guild leader, Changgu, greets them warmly. He mentions Lim's bold request to triple his contract if he passes the test, and agrees. But as they talk, Lim feels a crushing pressure in the air. The man standing before him radiates terrifying mana, despite looking completely ordinary. A monster in human form, Lim thinks, but he refuses to flinch. He releases his own aura, forming a glowing sphere around him. Changgu grins and tells Beck to rewrite the deal, not double but triple, plus a 20 billion won bonus if Lim passes. Lim's jaw nearly drops. Talk about a raise. That's not a contract, that's a jackpot. Soon they're in the guild's underground arena. The rules are simple. Defeat 3 members, and he passes. First up, Jang Hyuk, a young speed specialist from the First Guild Association. When asked about his weapon, Lim calmly says, "My watch is enough." The crowd scoffs. The battle begins. Jang dashes around Lim at insane speed, blurring into streaks of light. Lim narrows his eyes, recalling that Jang grows faster the longer he keeps moving. He has to end this quickly. When Jang finally lunges with his sword, Lim seizes the moment. One clean strike, perfectly timed. Jang hits the ground before anyone can blink. Lim dusts off his sleeve, murmuring that speed can be both a gift and a curse. Lily cheers wildly from the sidelines. Beck and Changgu just stare, stunned. Lim turns calmly toward them and asks, "So, who's next?" Changgu claps slowly, a proud smile on his face. He praises Lim's impressive performance, the kind of victory that leaves even veterans speechless. Lim immediately kneels beside Jang, checking his pulse. Changgu reassures him that the kid will be fine. The medics will have him back on his feet in a couple of days. Chong-Su, watching from the sidelines, notes how well Lim controlled his power. Lim just smirks faintly, wondering if they truly understand how close that match was. One misstep, 1 second of carelessness, and his opponent's head would have gone flying. Now that's one way to end a job interview. Still, the fight earns him 6 billion won under the contract. Not bad for breaking a sweat. But Lim's focus shifts. There are 2 more opponents left, and he's just getting warmed up. When Lily notices that faint grin on his face, she asks what it means. Lim replies calmly that a fighter should never lose control of the situation, or the smile that hides his next move. The next stage takes place in an artificial forest, thick with digital trees and synthetic mist. Bayek explains that the White House Guild is split into 2 associations, each with 6 teams of 5 members. Lim's next opponent, Lim Dae-in, captain of the 6th team, known as the Bull. A mountain of muscle with a shield like a wall and a temper to match. Yang grins, eager for battle. Lim, meanwhile, remembers that this man once radiated an instinct to kill him in another timeline. When the bell rings, Lim wastes no time. He charges forward. His strike meets steel as Yang blocks with his massive shield and counters with a heavy slash. Lim barely slips past it, spinning behind him and landing Falcon's claws, a clean martial technique. Yang blinks, surprised. "You've trained before awakening, haven't you?" Yang swings again, but Lim counters with Iron Mountain, a burst of power that sends the bull flying. Even so, Yang stands tall, laughing. His endurance is terrifying. Lim realizes he might have to reveal more than he planned. Then, unexpectedly, Yang offers him a spot on his team. Lim arches a brow. "Who decides that?" he asks. Yang smirks. "The victor." Changgu confirms the rule and Lim's grin returns. If that's the case, he declares, then when he wins, he'll become the team leader and start his own independent squad, recruiting members his way. The head approves but adds a twist. If Lim loses, he only gets half the bonus and his contract time doubles. Lim agrees instantly. Yang laughs, asking if he's confident. Lim tilts his head. "You're awfully defensive about Bayek," he teases, implying that Yang's aggression might not be entirely professional. The bull's expression darkens. Lim calmly predicts his downfall, humiliation, and eventually exile from the guild. Yeah, nothing stings like career advice mid-battle. Furious, Yang activates his bull mode. His body swells with power, eyes glowing red. He charges like a freight train and the ground trembles. Lim closes his eyes, focusing his mana. The great sea of mind awakens within him. Lightning fist, he warns Yang to block. The bull does, and his massive shield shatters into glittering dust. The arena erupts in shock. The rookie has just crushed the guild's strongest tank. Lim drops to the ground, breathing hard. His limbs ache, his mana flickers. "Man," he mutters, "earning money's harder than dying, and that's before taxes." He focuses his mind again, using the meditative technique to restore his strength. He'll need it for the final round. Baek walks over, smiling proudly. She officially names him the head of the 7th team. Lim grins, another billion added to the account. Now, he thinks, maybe he'll aim for all 20 guild elites, but when asked about his next challenger, Changgu reveals the truth. It's him. The guild head himself. Changgu admits he doubted Lim would even reach this point, yet here they are. He smirks and steps forward, ready to fight. Lim's confidence wavers for the first time. Then, to everyone's surprise, Lim raises a hand. "I surrender." The room falls silent. Changgu blinks.
"You're
giving up?" he asks. To persuade him, the guild head offers a massive deal. 20 billion won for just 5 minutes of combat, plus 3 billion for every extra 3 minutes. Tempting, but Lim shakes his head. He's out of energy and he knows it. Baek steps in smoothly, reminding Changgu it's time to finalize the contract anyway. Lim signs it, sealing the deal. The terms are incredible, almost too good. He offers a polite smile, saying he looks forward to working together. Baek asks about his recruitment plan. Lim says he'll take it slow, equality over quantity. When she reminds him he has full authority to sign new members, she wonders who he has in mind. Lim's eyes shift toward the fiery-haired girl standing nearby. "Someone talented," he says softly. "Someone with potential, and no guild ties." Lily's eyes widen as realization hits. Could he possibly mean her? Lim glances at Lily, his tone calm but firm. He tells her to unleash the biggest flame she can manage. Lily pouts instantly. She's starving. Lim sighs and promises her 3 whole chickens if she cooperates. That gets her moving. She perks up, darts to the side, and with a grin, reminds him not to forget his promise. Then, whoosh, she summons a massive fireball, so huge it dwarfs her tiny frame. Yeah. Someone's definitely working for food, not glory. Baek stands frozen, speechless. He can't believe what he's seeing. This little girl's control is flawless. He turns to Lim, asking if she's his sister. Lim nods and adds that she'll soon be part of his squad. Despite the raging flame, nothing nearby catches fire. Lim watches, impressed. In his past life, he'd only trained her for a few days and she'd still been labeled a walking disaster. Now, she's pure precision. He turns to Beck with a grin. So about her contract payment? Beck's jaw tightens as Lim casually opens negotiations at $3 billion. Before Beck can respond, Lily interrupts. What about my chickens? Priorities. Always priorities. They make good on her demand, and Lily officially joins the 7th White House team. For a modest fee of $5 billion. Not bad for someone whose power could light up a city block. The White House HQ buzzes with activity, training halls, dorms, and control rooms packed with staff. As they tour the facility, Beck proudly showcases the tech. Lim barely looks impressed. To him, this gear feels ancient, like he's walking through a museum. He's seen toasters with more advanced systems in the future. Eventually, they reach a massive workshop filled with weapon prototypes. Beck assures him they can craft anything within a week. Lim smirks, saying he already has someone to handle that but might grab a few toys for now. He picks up a pair of blades and decides they'll do. Their tour ends when a breathless chief bursts in, reporting an emergency. Every team is already deployed. He asks if Lim can take a mission. Lim was this close to going home early. But sighs, what's the situation? Moments later, he's standing beneath a swirling portal 10 meters high. From it, giant snails spill out, slimy, heaving, and just plain nasty. Civilians are trapped in sticky green goo, screaming for help. This is not what Lim meant by slime goals. Surveying the chaos, Lim realizes most of the monsters are already handled. Still, the team needs samples, intact ones. His job, capture 3 snails without damaging them. He grimaces. These things explode on contact, splattering everything in rancid slime. Even Lily wrinkles her nose at the smell. Lim seals her sense of smell with a touch of mana and offers to teach her the trick. He warns her it'll take practice, but seconds later she beams. Done! Lim just stares. She mastered it instantly. Even prodigies need to chill sometimes. He orders her to stay put while he handles the hunt. Others have failed. Magic detonates the snails and physical attacks barely scratch them. Spotting one clinging to a tree, Lim kicks it hard, then strikes with an open palm, spinning it midair until it faints. First sample secured. Lily cheers, begging to learn the move. Lim plays along. Sure, just pay me $100 billion. She gasps, calculating the chicken equivalent. That's way too many chickens. He laughs, handing over the samples to the assembly team. Mission complete. Beck congratulates him, saying he can clock out early. Lim shrugs, not bad for day one. But before they can leave, 3 men approach. One, dressed in red, smirks at Lim. He's heard about the new recruit. Noticing Lim's commander insignia, he mocks. Guess the White House ran out of real soldiers. Another steps up, Jang Sok, Lim's former boss from the Blackhound Guild. Lim cuts through the chatter, asking if they actually need something. They complain that the snail samples keep exploding and demand his technique. Lim simply refuses. You can almost hear the ego crack echo in the distance. Tension rises fast. The guild captains try to play peacemakers, urging cooperation, but Beck steps in, warning Lim not to back down. Instead, he casually tosses them the bag, then sits on it, daring them to move him. The silence is priceless. Even Lily looks impressed. Before things can erupt, the portal trembles. A shadow looms. From it, a colossal slug emerges, easily dwarfing nearby buildings. Panic ripples through the field as soldiers scramble to retreat. Tentacles lash out, snaring everyone in reach. A commander yells for Lim to stay out of it, but Beck pushes him. One strike from you could end this. Lim glances at the chaos, his tone cool. Don't worry. They're not taking me down that easily. Because if history's taught him anything, it's that every disaster's just another Monday. The battle rages on as the heroes unleash everything they've got against the monstrous slug. Its slime hisses across the ground, melting through metal and armor like acid. Siak yells for the tankers to fall back and switch to long-range fire. Everyone's tense. This thing makes the smaller snails look like garden pests. Lily folds her arms, unimpressed. So, how long are we just gonna watch? Lim replies calmly. Until everyone's out of harm's way. Yeah, because nothing says patience like waiting for people to finish running from a giant radioactive slug. Meanwhile, Wang Guho, better known by his oh-so-fearsome nickname, Pushover is doing exactly what his name suggests, running for his life. His team's weapons have been eaten away by slime and they're retreating fast. Wang pleads for help, but they tell him to use his own powers and fend for himself. Nearby, a warrior named Vow gets snagged by a tentacle, screaming as the creature pulls him in. Lim watches quietly, frowning. So that's what they call comrades? In a flash, he cuts through the tentacle and steps between the monster and Vow, shielding him. Turning to Wong, he says coldly, "That's not how you're supposed to use your power. If you really want to learn, find me after this." Then he signals Lily. Flames roar to life. Wild, blinding, beautiful. The temperature spikes, and even the most battle-hardened heroes freeze at the sight. Beck panics, yelling for Lim to wait. Reinforcements are 5 minutes out. Lim just shrugs. Exactly. That's 5 minutes for me to claim all the loot. Capitalism, but make it heroic. Beck argues that the drones can't even fly through the fire, but Lim's already focused. He promises to finish the beast and come back alive. As the creature thrashes, Lim recalls the entry from his old monster compendium. Fire is its weakness. He orders Lily to keep the flames tight and moves in. The monster's tentacles regenerate rapidly, forcing Lim to rely on Lily's support throughout the fight. When he gives the signal, she blasts another wave of fire. The limbs burn away and the slug recoils, withdrawing into its shell. Lily tilts her head. Now what? It's hiding, Lim smirks. Now we go shopping in the car. Nothing screams strategy like a quick pit stop mid-battle. He grabs a bundle of metal stakes, drives them into the shell one by one, hammering with precise, rhythmic strikes. The other heroes stare, confused. To them, he looks like a guy trying to assemble IKEA furniture under pressure. Meanwhile, Wong remembers Lim's words. Maybe power isn't about running away. And Vow, still shaken, wonders if Lim's crazy plan might actually work. With the stakes in place, Lim channels his energy. His eyes narrow. Time for the final phase. He takes a deep breath, activating the Great Sea of Mind technique. His body surges with lightning. He punches forward and electricity dances across the stakes, linking them like a web of thunder. The impact cracks the shell with a deafening roar, then silence. Lim's body convulses. He's been electrocuted by his own attack. He hits the ground hard, twitching in pain. Lily rushes over, panicking. Are you okay? You look crispy, Lim groans. You were supposed to help, remember? Nothing like frying yourself to remind the kid what teamwork means. Smoke still rising, Lim looks up at the shattered shell. They've done it. He inspects the remains, noting how tender and nutrient-rich the flesh is. He grins. Perfect for mana recovery meals. Lily tilts her head, imagining it. Snail chicken? Lim sighs. Sure, kid. Whatever gets you to eat your veggies. They start packing the meat into bags. Then a message pings from Commander Bang of the second team, saying reinforcements are on their way. Lim quickly warns them to hold off until he drops the firewall. He's still missing one last thing. Bang questions whether the two of them can really handle this alone, but Lim finishes collecting the spoils, gives Lily a nod, and drops the flames. The incoming team arrives and freezes. The battlefield is scorched black, and the colossal slug lies motionless. One soldier stammers, Wait, he took that thing down alone? Lim rubs the back of his neck. I just got lucky. Sure, and my cat just happens to pay rent on time. Seok glares, still not believing what he's seeing. Lim waves it off, asking Commander Bang to handle the cleanup. Bang nods, telling him to go home and rest. Lim agrees, mostly because Beck already warned him what would happen if he got himself injured on day one. Night falls. The chaos fades into calm. Lily stretches and yawns, complaining that she's hungry again. Lim chuckles and rewards her with a feast, piles of chicken glistening under the moonlight. Lily's eyes sparkle. It's like a dream. She munches happily, already asking when they can go snail hunting again. Lim takes a sip of beer, leans back, and mutters, Yeah, moments like this make it all worth it. Lily repeats his curse word perfectly. Lim chokes mid-sip, nearly spraying his drink. Hey, don't say that! She tilts her head innocently. But you said it. He scolds her, insisting it's a bad word. She squints, unconvinced. Then why do you say it every time you eat chicken? Morning arrives, and Lim feels the aftermath of yesterday's chaos. His body's heavy, his head foggy, not from the fight, but from what came after. The Great Mind technique has been wearing him down lately, and after last night's celebration, his energy feels like it's been drained through a straw. He groans, staring at his phone, wondering how many urgent calls he's ignored this time. The answer? Too many. As soon as he hits callback, Beck's furious voice blasts through the speaker. Lim winces, not from guilt but from volume. "Good morning to you too," he mutters, rubbing his temples. Exhausted, he explains that his muscles are wrecked from yesterday's mission. Beck softens immediately, apologizing for yelling and asking if he's doing any better. "Still recovering," Lim admits. "But I'll live." "What's up?" Beck tells him she's planning to start building his team. Real professionals, not just random volunteers. She lists what's needed: sharpshooters for combat support, medics for healing, an operator for coordination, and, of course, secretaries to handle the paperwork. Lim nods, impressed. He knows the value of good backup. "Go ahead and pick them yourself," he says. "You've got the best eye for talent anyway." Beck chuckles. "Don't forget, I'm the one who hired you." "Exactly," Lim grins. Case closed. They agree to talk again after lunch, and as the call ends, Lim's already plotting his next move. One name keeps coming to mind: Wang Guho, the so-called pushover from the Black Hound Guild. The guy's got potential, if only someone could teach him how to use it. Lim messages Spike to set up a meeting. A few minutes later, his phone rings again. It's Janang, the head of state. "Lim, I'm giving you 3 days off." "What?" "I'm fine." "Beck already told me everything," Janang replies calmly. "You're off duty until your full team's ready." "No arguments," Lim sighs in defeat. "Fine. I'll rest." "Good, and stay out of trouble," Janang adds. "Yeah, sure." Like that's ever going to happen. Not long after, Changu calls to talk guild business, probably another future of our organization speech. Lim half listens, but when Lily skips into the room asking if it's chicken time again, his focus shifts instantly. "Actually," he says proudly, "I've got something even better." He brings out a steaming bowl. Snail meat soup. Lily blinks. "It's green." "Healthy," Lim corrects. "Made with fresh ingredients and a snail heart. Boosts stamina." "Stamina for what?" "Just eat." Lily frowns, saying she's not hungry since she already devoured enough chicken yesterday. Lim shrugs and digs in himself. The aroma fills the air, rich and savory. One spoonful and he can't help but hum in satisfaction. His enthusiasm alone is enough to make Lily second-guess her decision. Finally, curiosity wins. She grabs a spoon, takes a bite, and her eyes light up like fireworks. "It's amazing," Lim smirks. "See? I told you, this is the happiest moment of my life. I'm never trusting your food opinions again." "Then you'll love tonight's dinner," he replies. "Fried pork belly." "Wait, what kind?" "The expensive kind." Her eyes widen. "Now that's a reason to live." Lim chuckles. "Where do you even learn this stuff?" But between jokes, he reminds her, if she wants to keep eating like this, she needs to strengthen her body and train properly. Days later, the two head out toward a newly discovered region beyond the first-dimensional gate. The surviving monsters have claimed territories, entire zones ruled by beasts. Among them, the orcs have formed a powerful tribe. Lim scans the terrain through his binoculars, spotting their camp. In the middle of the orc stronghold stands a massive stone statue, and hidden inside it, a relic from another dimension. "Last time, the expedition team got there first," Lim mutters. "Not this time." He counts roughly 200 orcs. Too many for a direct fight. Even with his body restored, taking them all on would be suicide. He decides on infiltration. "Lily, when the torch on the far wall goes out, light the fire at the entrance. If you don't see it, forget the relic." She nods seriously. "Got it." They move in, using concealment to slip past the patrols. The tribe's massive, but Lim's confident. No orc can detect them unless something truly monstrous appears. Near the statue, 10 orcs stand guard. "I can handle this," Lim whispers, drawing his blade. But before he can strike, the ground trembles. Out steps the tribe's leader, a mutant orc, towering, scarred, and radiating power. Lim recognizes it immediately. It's the same beast that crushed the previous expedition team. No backing down now. He tosses a stone, knocking out the torch, the signal. Lily sees the light vanish and instantly sets the entrance ablaze. Fire bursts across the horizon as the orcs roar in confusion. Lim rushes for the statue, ready to destroy it, but suddenly, he freezes. A sharp grunt echoes behind him. He turns just in time to block a massive blow. One of the orcs has found him, by smell. "Guess deodorant wasn't enough," Lim mutters. The mutant leader joins in, swinging its blade with terrifying force. Lim dodges, but the impact shakes the ground. Way too strong, he grits his teeth. Realizing stealth is no longer an option, he cancels concealment and makes a run for it through the chaos. Lily spots him through the flames. You've been discovered! No kidding, Lim yells back. Run! They sprint through the burning forest, stopping only when they reach a half-collapsed ruin. Gasping for breath, Lim leans against the wall. We didn't get far, but that's enough excitement for one day. Lily looks around. Wait, I know this place. It's the cave I came through when I entered the gate. Lim straightens up. You've been here before? She nods. There were weird people inside, and they tried to catch me, so I ran. Lim's eyes narrow. Red serpent operatives. If that's true, then this isn't just any cave, but it's their hideout. Strange that they'd settle so close to an orc tribe. Smart, but reckless. He pats Lily's shoulder. Good eyes, kid. This might actually work in our favor. Lily hesitates. You're not going in there, are you? Of course I am. Can I stay outside? Definitely. Hide in the bushes and don't make a sound. If something happens, contact me. Lily nods nervously and crouches out of sight as Lim activates concealment again, slipping into the cave's shadowy depths. Inside, the air smells of smoke and metal. Dozens of guards patrol the narrow tunnels. This isn't some small gang. The Red Serpent is a full-fledged organization. But why here, so close to the orcs? Deeper in, he spots masked figures at work, moving crates, guarding machines, whispering to one another. Then his eyes catch something. One man carefully measuring a pile of fine white powder. Lim's breath catches. Serpent dust, he whispers, the drug that started it all. The one capable of turning men into monsters. Whatever's going on here, it's bigger than anyone thought.
Inside the dimly lit cave, Lim watches in silence, a hidden witness to humanity's darkest trade. All around him, masked workers handle strange plants, processing them into fine white dust. Serpent, a deadly substance born from flora of another world. Once consumed, it warps the mind, devours the soul, and leaves nothing but madness in its wake. Countless addicts have already lost everything to it, their sanity, their lives, their humanity. Years of investigation by the authorities have done nothing. The operation still thrives, buried so deep underground that even government sensors can't reach it. Lim frowns. How has this place survived unnoticed for so long? At the center of the chaos, a man in a blood-red coat, the warden yells at the workers. Double production before tomorrow. Anyone who fails the quota will regret it. Fear ripples through the room. And then, without warning, the lights die. The entire facility plunges into darkness. Panic erupts, shouts, gunfire, confusion. In the shadows, a faint sound of boxers shifting. By the time the backup lights flicker on, the serpent stockpile is gone, somewhere in the blackness. Lim moves invisible, silent, carrying a heavy crate in his arms. A few trained eyes catch faint footprints leading outside, but before they can react, he's already gone. Outside, Lily is waiting. All done? She asks. Lim shakes his head. No. This is just the beginning. They'll be coming after us soon. Stay sharp. Her eyes sparkle. Sounds fun? Don't touch the box, he warns. It's toxic. And be quiet. Moments later, the Red Serpent enforcers burst from the cave, spotting them instantly. Lim smirks. Here come the hunters. Bullets fly as he moves through the forest like a ghost, weaving between gunfire, enjoying the adrenaline rush. Not a single hit lands. He leads the pursuers straight toward the orc territory, where chaos already brews. As they arrive, the tribe's massive leader roars, and the gangsters freeze in disbelief. What the hell is that? One of them yells. Lim hurls the crate with supernatural strength. It lands right in the middle of the orc camp. The Red Serpent men stare, horrified. He's insane. One of them shouts, "Kill the monsters. Get the serpent. Then deal with that freak." Another orders. But before they can act, the mutant orc charges. Bullets bounce harmlessly off its hide. The gunmen realize too late. They're the prey now? Lim and Lily watch from a nearby ridge. When's this gonna end? She asks, bored. I'm hungry. Patience, Lim replies calmly. Sometimes it's smarter to let your enemies destroy each other. Below them, the battle turns into a massacre. The mutant orc tears through the gang, slaughtering everything in sight. Then, with a deafening roar, it raises its blade high in triumph. Lim sighs. Impressive, but you're still in my way. He appears behind the beast and delivers a precise, crushing strike, one blow that drops the tribal chief to the ground. Without leadership, the orc army instantly descends into chaos. Lim wastes no time. He rushes to the stone statue, striking it with his hammer. The relic shatters open, revealing what he's been after all along, the Keeper's Bracelet, a mystical artifact said to enhance healing, strengthen vitality, and cast a powerful defensive spell, especially when worn as a pair. As it shrinks to fit his wrist, Lim feels his drained mana instantly return. Lily peers curiously. Is that a treasure? Lim nods, calling her closer. Hold out your hand. He slips the second bracelet onto her wrist. Why are you giving me this? She asks shyly. It'll protect you, he answers. And let me find you, if you're in danger. Her cheeks flush. So, we're matching now? Lim looks away. Just wear it and stop talking. While she's still weak. Protecting the fallen chief's hide perfect for new armor, Lim tells her. Dinner's delayed. I need to go back to the cave. Ow. Why? Lily pouts. I'll explain later. For now, burn the village. Her eyes light up. Can we eat after? We'll see. That's all she needs to hear. Laughing, Lily ignites the orc village in a burst of flames. Better make it delicious. She yells as buildings collapse behind her. Lim stares blankly. What would happen if she ever starved? Back in the cave, surviving Red Serpent members open fire. The bullets shatter harmlessly against a golden aura, the bracelet's barrier in full effect. Lim turns to Lily. This is what protection feels like. Once you master it, you'll be able to use it offensively too. Offensively, huh? She grins, launching the shield like a discus. It smashes into the nearest gunman with a sonic boom. Lim blinks, impressed. Not bad. The last remaining gangster drops his weapon, begging for mercy. Wait, I'll tell you everything, names, routes, buyers. Just don't kill me. Lim doesn't even look at him. Just tell me where the safe is. An hour later, the two emerge from the burning cavern, smoke billowing behind them. Lim exhales. A perfect hidden lab. And now, perfectly destroyed. Between the relics, the cash, and the satisfaction, it's been a productive day. He glances at Lily. You done blowing things up? Almost, she chirps. A few red serpents might have escaped, though. Let them. They've got nowhere left to run. He counts roughly 35 survivors, gangsters, and lab workers alike. Killing them would be easy, but pointless. Instead, he steps forward, locking eyes with one trembling man. You're Saruchiok now? The man stammers. Why that name? Lim smacks him lightly. Because you look like a Surutok, a rice cake. Stop asking questions. He orders Lily to take Surudoteok to the tent and tells the rest to surrender to security. Wait, you'll actually let us go? One cries. Lim glares. You're lucky I'm letting you breathe. Move, or I'll change my mind. Terrified, they obey. Later, the guards arrive, stunned by the number of captives and the discovery of the underground drug operation. Lim watches from afar, knowing full well the survivors will try to frame him and Lily to save themselves. He smirks. Good luck convincing anyone. Still, he realizes he'll need stronger allies. Perhaps Titan Kim Soo-ho, a man powerful enough to make such problems disappear. That can wait. For now, there's only one thing left to do. Lily returns, dragging Suruteok behind her and shouting, I'm starving. The poor man looks confused, still catching his breath, as Lily pounds the floor demanding food. Lim laughs quietly. After everything we've burned today, I guess she's earned a good meal.
Lily sits cross-legged by the fire, lips puffed out in disappointment. She glares at the steaming pot like it personally offended her. Lim had promised her a meal as good as fried chicken, but this smells like a science experiment gone wrong. With a sigh, Lim hands a small bundle to Seohee, who immediately understands what to do. Moments later, the air fills with the mouth-watering scent of sizzling pork belly. The man works with surprising grace, garlic frying golden, green olives glistening, and crisp lettuce ready for wrapping. Lily takes one bite, and her eyes widen like she's just discovered religion. She mumbles that it's incredibly delicious, cheeks stuffed full. Lim watches her in amusement, warning her to chew before she speaks. She nods eagerly, realizing the flavor deepens with every bite. Apparently, enlightenment comes wrapped in lettuce. Days roll by, 4 of them to be exact. Lim begins preparing for tougher missions ahead. With his recent guild payment, he purchases a patch of land beside his tent. The seller hesitates, warning the price is suspiciously low, but Lim simply smiles. Seohee, now under Lim's watch, builds a sturdy log house from scratch. He pledges to cook, clean, and work for 3 years, his way of repaying the second chance he's been given. Lim nods, appreciating the man's determination. Lily, meanwhile, can't stop praising his cooking, already nominating him as her personal chef. To ensure no funny business, Lim strikes Seohee's pressure points, disabling his combat skills. Seohee winces but doesn't complain. Freedom will come after 3 honest years. Who knew forced labor could sound so motivational? At the White House Guild headquarters, Beck meets Lim with her usual confidence. She explains she'll temporarily guide the 7th team, insisting a rookie like him needs a senior's oversight. Lim questions whether she'll actually replace herself later, but she waves it off with a grin. His official assignment begins tomorrow. Tonight, he's to study the mission files. Flipping through the pages, Lim frowns. There's a clause preventing him from taking long-term missions. Beck clarifies. This gate-clearing request came straight from the government. 4 guilds are involved, and the cleanup's estimated to take 3 days. Lim doesn't buy it. He knows government estimates are like expired coupons, mostly useless. Monster gates come in 2 types. Some vanish on their own, others, type B, stay open until someone destroys their core. The current one? The Labyrinth of Fallen Spirits, a place he used to lecture about, because no one ever came back alive. Before his time rewind, entering that labyrinth would have been suicide. Beck notices his silence and asks if he wants to back out. Lim shakes his head. We'll handle it. She smiles faintly, telling him to keep calm no matter what happens. Lim smirks. What, you think I'll throw a tantrum? She shrugs. Wouldn't be the first time for a rookie. The next day, he's en route to meet potential allies. On the way, he thinks about recruiting a tank, specifically Wang Guho. Unfortunately, Guho's contract with another guild complicates things. Lim will have to negotiate personally. When the car stops, the driver steps out and bows deeply. Lim awkwardly waves it off, muttering that such formality isn't necessary, but thanks him anyway. Beck chuckles, teasing that Lim looks pretty cool when he's being polite. Lim grumbles under his breath. Kindness makes him uncomfortable. He's used to the rough-and-tumble attitude of the Blackhound Guild. Too much niceness makes him itch. At the meeting, Lim is greeted by Kim Hun of the Blackhound Guild, Wang Guho's handler, and team captain Jang So-hyun. Pleasantries are exchanged, but tension simmers beneath the surface. Kim wastes no time asking if they're really here to take Wang. He explains that Wang renewed his contract just this morning, raising his buyout fee to 10 billion. Beck nearly chokes. Kim smirks, suggesting they can have him if they pay up. Lim instantly sees through it, an obvious trap. Rising from his seat, he tells Beck they're leaving. Kim taunts them as they turn away, mocking their failed negotiation and throwing in a jab about expired cake. Lim stops mid-step, turns back, and without hesitation, slaps Kim across the face. The room freezes, blades flash as Blackhound members rush in. Lim warns them coldly, asking if they really believe they can overpower him. The air thickens with killing intent. He demands the guild leader's presence, deciding that since they wanted chaos, he'll deliver it. Beck scolds him for overreacting, though her faint smirk betrays amusement. Lily, who's been quietly eating in the corner, tilts her head. Hey, why'd you hit the guy who gave me cake? Lim sighs. Because that cake might have been poisoned. Soon after, a dark pressure fills the room, the arrival of someone far more dangerous. The guild leader himself steps in. Kim Tae-jin, one of the first awakened, his presence radiating raw power. Beck stiffens. Lim knows instantly this is no ordinary man. Feigning ignorance, Jin asks what's going on, though it's obvious he's been watching through the cameras. Lim calmly states that he called for this meeting to clear things up. But first he asks everyone else to leave. Jin chuckles. You're loyal, I'll give you that. Lim's expression doesn't change. He simply tells Lily to go with Beck. The girl pouts. Can I burn the place before we go? Lim nearly chokes. No! Touch fire without permission, and I'm banning fried chicken for a week. Few threats are as terrifying as no fried chicken. Once they're alone, Jin gets straight to the point. He offers Lim a deal. Stay in his current guild, but secretly report information back to him. In other words, a spy arrangement. Lim listens, knowing exactly what that means. He asks what happens if he refuses. Jin's smile doesn't waver. Then you'll pay dearly. Maybe an arm, or two. Meanwhile, outside the guild, chaos brews. Chang-gu yells for Lim's release, counting down seconds before he storms in. At 7, Lim casually appears behind him, perfectly fine. Chang-gu spins in shock. Where the hell did you come from? Lim grins. Apologized, got forgiven. Turns out I'm really good at sounding sincere. Guess all those customer service skills finally paid off. Jin leans in, his voice low and venomous, warning Lim to accept his offer or face serious consequences. But Lim just smirks. He's already holding a trump card. A little bird told him about Jin's personal relationship with his sister-in-law. The color drains from Jin's face. He demands to know how Lim found out. Lim calmly slides him a note, saying that if Jin wants this secret buried, he'll need to meet a few small conditions. First, order free wangaho, no termination tax. Second, a certain payment for his silence. Simple enough. Before Lim rewound time, Jin's affair had destroyed his brother's family, driving them both to suicide. Afterward, Jin left the service in disgrace. Now Lim knows this man will do anything to keep the past from resurfacing. Chang mutters that Jin's as sly as a snake. Bike snaps at him. They're lucky to have walked away alive. Meanwhile, Lim notices Lily sitting unusually quiet. He pats her head and tells her not every problem has to be solved immediately. She sighs and admits she's just hungry. Beck chuckles that she's probably in shock, or just tired of whatever's been on the menu lately. Lim offers, how about chicken for dinner? That earns a small smile. He reflects that if the guild truly cared only for profit, none of them would have come to help. Joining the White House Guild, it seems, was the right call. Later, Lim meets Wangaho again. The man bows, apologizing for yesterday's chaos. Lim waves it off and tells him to sit. From today, Wang is officially the team's tank, and he'd better get used to calling Lim Commander. Wang, quiet and distant from years in an orphanage and the harsh Black Hound Guild, doesn't understand why someone like Lim would pick him. He mutters that he's not talented. Lim smirks. Then I'll give you talent. Yeah, that's not exactly the motivational speech they teach in management school, but it works. Lim knows the truth. In his past life, Wang's petrification ability evolved into something incredible. He became known as the Moving Fortress, a living wall no enemy could break. Lim's betting that potential still lies within him. Soon after, Saruchio appears, announcing that Lim's special request is ready. The dish, a stew made from a monster's inner core, steams on the table. Lim orders everyone to eat 3 plates. They've got a 4-day journey into the labyrinth of fallen spirits ahead. 2 days later, deep in the field, Lim faces a massive white lion-like monster. He shouts at Wang, "Don't flinch! You're the tank!" Wang charges, locking the beast in place. The strain rips through his body, but Lim urges him to endure another minute. Fail, and you're eating 6 plates of that monster soup. Somehow, starvation suddenly becomes the best motivator. Determined not to face another bowl, Wang holds firm. Lim knows that power grows when pushed to the edge, so he pushes harder. Then he turns to Lily. Your turn. Lily glares. I've been eating disgusting food for days. Lim promises chicken for dinner. She groans, then explodes into motion, fire blazing as she takes down the creature in seconds. Wang watches, awestruck. Lim teases, so why'd you call him the tank? Lily shrugs. You started it. Moments later, Bike reports more white tigers emerging, one still alive 7 hours out. But the warrior guild's closer. Lim calculates the distance, then decides, I'll run ahead. Follow at your own pace. Lily, keep Hugh safe. And just like that, he vanishes into motion. Enhanced by training and that delightful monster soup diet, Lim sprints faster than the wind. Passing a guild member, he shouts, "The white tiger's mine!" The warrior guild scrambles to strike first, because whoever lands the hit owns the loot. But Lim's already there, flashing through shadows with his crescent moon technique. He leaps, slashes, and drops the beast in one clean strike. Yeah, talk about speedrunning a boss fight. The guild just stares. Lim radios in, mission complete. The dispatcher stammers. The system still shows the monster alive seconds ago. Lim brushes it off and asks for the next target. Meanwhile, Lily cheerfully checks if she cooked it right this time and reminds everyone they're due for chicken. As the team wraps up, a doctor with long blue hair approaches. "Need medical assistance?" he asks. Lim waves him off, just Lily needing to wash her hands. That's Kaon Il-nam, head of the field medical team. His younger brother Kaon Liam rushes over next. He's been filming the entire battle. "The footage looks amazing," he says proudly. Lim watches, impressed. It really does look like a movie. Then comes Kaon Seohee, the youngest, busy dismantling equipment. Beck had hired all 3 siblings for field support, each destined to become top experts in their fields. Lim thanks them, apologizes for mixing up their names, and promises good rest and bonuses for future missions. Il-nam grins and records that part for proof. Never hurts to have bonus promises on camera. A bit later, Lim's driver mentions he's become quite popular with the team. Lim smiles faintly, saying he's just learned to read people. Once, he too followed orders without question, until he got tired of it and walked away. He won't let his own people feel that way. Back at the White House Guild headquarters, Beck laughs. "For a 20-year-old, you're quite the communicator. What are you, living a second life?" Lim chuckles but quickly shifts back to business. Beck lists the supplies, noting that Lim's custom equipment will be ready in 2 days. Pleased, he flips through the report and stops at a name. A craftsman's work catches his eye. Beck explains the data was scarce, but she found an online clip showing the person's creations. Lim leans forward. The name reads, Jang Yong-shin, Korea's only superhuman craftsman. Lim's eyes narrow with intrigue. "Where's this challenger now?" Lily tugs at Lim's sleeve before they leave. "Don't forget, 4 servings of boneless chicken and a large order of fries." Lim chuckles, promising to keep his word, but only if she remembers everything he's taught her. They stroll into a cozy barber shop filled with colorful toys. Lim scans the room and jokes, "Looks like someone's hiding a toy store in here." The woman behind the counter laughs, saying her son just loves making things. Meanwhile, Lily slumps on a couch, visibly bored. Lim tells her to sit quietly, an impossible request apparently. Seconds later, her eyes lock on something shiny on the display shelf. Lim instantly senses danger. "Don't touch anything," he shouts, too late. Lily lifts a tiny handmade toy and grins. "It looks like chicken." Of course it does. Everything looks like chicken to her at this point. The woman smiles kindly and says her son made it. If Lily likes it, she can keep it. Lim apologizes, calling Lily his mischievous cousin, but the woman waves it off. They've got plenty of toys to spare. Curious, Lim asks about her son. She explains he's 13, Jang Yong-shin, a boy with savant syndrome. He struggles with people but has extraordinary crafting talent. Lim listens carefully. He realizes that unlike most superhumans, this one needs a gentle touch. Step 1, visit the shop more often. The woman mentions that Yang's likely in the back room working on something. Lim worries they might be disturbing him, but she assures him that Jang gets so focused he barely notices the world around him. Still, Lim senses that if Yang truly has mana sensitivity, he's probably hearing every word. And just then, the door creaks open. Jang steps out. His mother freezes. He's never done that before. Lim realizes it. The boy sensed mana. This is confirmation. Right on cue, Lily springs into action. She runs up to Jang, waving the toy chicken. "Did you make this?" "It's insanely cute," she exclaims in clumsy Korean. Jang blushes and mutters that it's nothing special. Lily keeps gushing anyway, eyes shining. Lim watches in disbelief. Apparently, her hunger for chicken just turned into their best recruitment tool. Sometimes, fate really does smell like fried food. Jang says he can make plenty of other things and invites her to see them. His mother can hardly believe it. Her son's never spoken this freely before. Lim stands back, half amused, half impressed. Seems like Jang's taken a liking to Lily. And if that helps the guild, perfect. By the next day, Jang Young-shin officially joins their team, crafting battle uniforms out of monster materials worth hundreds of billions. A few days later, Lim admires the new gear. The Uruk chieftain's leather fits perfectly. He asks Lily how she likes hers. She beams. It's comfy, it's cool, and it's got chicken and pizza patterns. Wang, slightly jealous, asks about his uniform. Lim smirks, saying he doesn't need one yet. Beck soon reports the support team is ready to move. As they prepare to leave, she teases Lim about his new haircut. He eyes her suspiciously. So she's why that barbershop had no customers. Moments later, they arrive at the gate. Beck's already furious, arguing with an official who let another guild enter first. He insists the queue was rearranged, and that the heroes would have been late anyway. Beck demands to know who gave that order, but no one answers clearly. Apparently, 4 guilds are running a joint task today. Lim stays calm. Doesn't change our mission, he says. Beck sighs, apologizing that there might be nothing left inside. Lim reassures her. Sometimes the leftovers are the most valuable. He says it like a man who's found treasure in a dumpster before. They enter the labyrinth of fallen spirits, dark, twisting, and silent. 2 hours pass as their vehicle rolls deeper in. The twins tag along, having missed their ride earlier. Originally rated a B-level dungeon, this labyrinth's now far deadlier after repeated failures to seal it. Lim suddenly halts the group. His senses sharpen. Something's close. He steps out, ordering Wang to guard the vehicles. The air is thick, foul, and heavy. The labyrinth of fallen spirits, where people lose themselves, turning into the undead. A shiver runs through the twins as shadowy figures appear ahead. Lim narrows his eyes. Their shredded uniforms mark them as Red Shark Guild members, infected, half-zombie, their fangs sharp enough to shred armor. He deduces they must have been bitten while off guard. Luckily, there aren't too many. Wang, Lim commands, show me what you've learned. Wang freezes, terrified. Lim warns that even a scratch could infect him. Pushing him forward, he growls, "Don't be a coward!" Wang takes a deep breath and engages. His petrification is more controlled now. Lim watches closely, reminding him not to kill the infected. They're still people. Surrounded, Wang asks what to do. Lim smirks. Figure it out. Wang fights with trembling arms, striking with his stone-covered hands. When one infected collapses, Wang yells in triumph. Lily yawns. Can't I just burn them all? Lim shakes his head. They're guild members. We're not here to barbecue. Lily pouts like someone just canceled dinner plans. Lim checks with the support crew. One twin records everything, proof for later compensation. The other finishes preparing repellent suits. Another teammate brings the antidote Lim requested earlier. Vital in a dungeon like this, Lim analyzes the scene. These Red Shark members were clearly superhuman. Their movements give it away. He darts in, taking each down with precise neck strikes. When the last one falls, Lim orders Wang to lay them out in a row. Among their supplies lies the antidote, anti-zombie venom. It only works if administered within 10 minutes of infection. After 30, the mind starts to rot. Lim glances at the victims. Too much time has passed. Even if saved, their minds won't recover quickly. He steps forward, telling his team to stay back. Inside the shadowed maze of the dungeon, Lim moves with calm precision. The kind that only comes from surviving countless worlds. He's not just a fighter. He's a strategist shaped by dimensions most can't even pronounce. Gaia, Murim, the underworld, he's been to all of them. Each world left him stronger, sharper, and maybe a little more sarcastic. Now, standing before a crowd of infected warriors, Lim's eyes gleam. These once human soldiers twitch with aggression, yet he sees opportunity, not threat. He focuses, mutters an old incantation from a forgotten world, and like puppets awakening, the infected rise at his command. Lim smiles faintly. You'll fight with me now. Surprisingly, they cheer, or groan approvingly. Team spirit? Unexpected. Hours later, Wang trudges in, dressed in a bug control suit that's way too small for his pride. He's sweaty, tired, and clutching something massive. I caught the queen bee, he pants. Lim gives him a nod, impressed, until Wang adds, but there are, like, 1,000,000 more. Without missing a beat, Lim turns to Lily. Burn them. I'll buy you food. Instant motivation. The girl's flames roar to life faster than a drive-through order. Ah yes, the power of snacks. Humanity's oldest magic. The air hums as fire dances. One of the twins whispers, half joking, "Did the commander bribe the red shark guys too?" Lim just smirks. No need. They're helping because they owe me. The suits are ready. The mission presses forward. Suddenly, Lim halts. His senses sharpen. Someone's coming. Out of the darkness, another guild appears. Familiar faces. Lily narrows her eyes. These are the ones she saw earlier. The snail handlers. She grins. "I'm already controlling them," she mutters proudly. Lim chuckles. Then let's hope they're more useful this time. Days pass. The team camps inside the labyrinth's cold belly. One of the twins rushes in, panicked. The rations are gone. Chewed up. Lim inspects the tracks and frowns. They're close. He signals Lily. With a sharp whistle, she commands a swarm of reptiles, scaly, loyal, and terrifyingly eager. The cavern erupts in chaos as red-eyed poison mice are devoured. Lim can't help but admire the teamwork. When your squad includes zombies and lizards, HR paperwork must be a nightmare. Everything seems under control. Until the ground shakes. From the shadows, a new terror glides. The demonic mirror devil. Its body glimmers like shattered glass, wings slicing through the air. One wrong glance and it can twist your mind into madness. Lim's tone turns cold. "No one look into the mirror! Move!" Wong, trembling, mutters. "But I'm scared." Lily glares. "Then close your eyes, genius." Yeah, not exactly the confident speech he needed. Lim orders a retreat and vanishes under a concealment spell. Alone, he studies the creature. A quick knife throw, miss. The bat flits unpredictably. He waits, silent. When he returns, the team surrounds him, ready for orders. "We attack on my signal." The mirror devil swoops low. Lim and Lily strike in perfect sync, flame and force colliding midair. For a moment, the bat taunts them, its reflection splitting light like a prism. Then Lim spots the opening. A fiery platform bursts beneath his feet, courtesy of Lily. He leaps high, spins, and delivers a devastating kick. The mirror shatters. The head falls. He lands, brushing ash from his coat. "I'm keeping the mirror," he says coolly. "Because who doesn't love a souvenir that can traumatize you?" The group moves deeper, reaching a massive gate pulsing with eerie energy. "We're at the end," Lim warns, "but don't relax yet." Rough day for Wong, great day for statue enthusiasts. The camera pans into darkness. A new figure emerges, cloaked, skeletal, dripping rain from its coat. Its eyes burn with cold blue fire. And just like that, the next nightmare begins. The skeletal figure steps out of the shadows, a spirit hunter, its hollow eyes burning with cold blue flame. The air grows heavy, almost metallic, as Lim raises his whistle and lets out a sharp, piercing note. Instantly, his squad floods the chamber like a storm. Before the spirit can even react, Wong charges in with his signature grin, the kind of grin that says, "I'm about to do something stupidly brave." He throws his arms around the undead creature. "Come here, buddy. Everyone needs a hug sometimes." The spirit hunter freezes and then slashes viciously. Wong blocks the blow with shocking speed. "Whoa, chill. No need to get all slashy." "You really are a hater, huh?" He teases, parrying another strike as if this were a dance. Lim watches quietly from the back, his eyes half-lidded but razor-sharp. Wong still hesitates here and there, but he's fighting with far more control than ever before. This was exactly what Wongo had trained him for. The spirit hunter suddenly plants his foot, runes flaring beneath him, a spirit connection spell. It's meant to turn Lim's subordinates into mindless puppets. The ground glows. The air hums, but nothing happens. The undead looks around in confusion. The soldiers remain perfectly still, perfectly calm. And then charge straight at him. Lim smirks. Of course it didn't work. The mirror bat's essence still lingers within his team. They're already trapped in a subtle trance of Lim's own making, immune to mental corruption. The spirit hunter tries to lift his sword but can't. Wong's got both hands gripping the blade, muscles straining. "Buddy, I like you too." Wong grins through his teeth, eyes gleaming with mischief. Lim chuckles and nods toward Lily. Her turn. He knows what's coming next, the spirit hunter's second ability, demon summoning. Judging by the glyphs, it's a monkey-type summon. Perfect. Lim already has a counter ready. Lily's eyes ignite. "Roasted chicken for dinner, anyone?" She laughs, unleashing a roaring blaze. Fire floods the room, twisting around the spirit hunter like a living inferno. The spirit hunter shrieks. Lim calls out, "Good work, Lily. You handle any of his pets." The compliment makes her beam, and it makes the spirit hunter furious. He hurls his sword, and Wong, across the battlefield. For a moment, Lim notices something strange. A flicker, a distortion. Then it's gone. He exhales slowly. This isn't his fight. His mission is efficiency. Clear the dungeon with the least effort possible. He continues to observe as his subordinates grind the spirit hunter down bit by bit. 1 hour later, the skeleton is desperate, swinging wildly, shouting nonsense. Lim takes that as his cue. A short whistle, and his entire team pulls back instantly, moving like one body. Lim steps forward, calm, deliberate. The spirit hunter roars something incomprehensible. Lim doesn't need to understand. He feels the insult. Coward. He replies coldly, "Some people don't have the luxury of courage. We just survive." He raises the illusion mirror, holding it up like a weapon. It won't control the undead, but it's enough to distract. That brief flicker of confusion is all Lim needs. A single lightning fist strikes. The chamber explodes with force. The spirit hunter's armor cracks apart, and there, glowing faintly in the remains, lies a spirit stone. Lim's breath catches. It's magnificent. A pure, radiant gem pulsing with energy stronger than any magic crystal he's ever seen. So this is why I came here, he thinks. The labyrinth of fallen spirits, for this miracle. He leans in, eyes reflecting the glow. This'll be put to good use, he murmurs. Lily tilts her head. Is it finally over? And, can we eat that? Lim sighs. No, you'll get sick if you try. But you tried to eat it, she argues, folding her arms. Lim opens his mouth to deny it, but the stone vanishes from his hands. He freezes. What the? That gem could have sold for millions. Yet it's gone. Then he notices his watch. The second hand no longer moves. A faint hum vibrates from within it. He realizes the stone's magic didn't vanish. It merged. The world trembles. And suddenly, we're no longer in the dungeon. Cut to the real world. 10 days later. News anchors speak grimly of 4 major guilds lost inside the gate. None have returned. By the portal, Beck stands silently, eyes full of worry. Her uncle Bang, commander of the second team, approaches with a faint smile. Still waiting, huh? He says gently. Don't worry. The White House second team and the 7th team. They'll come back. They always do. Beck nods, though her voice trembles. The other guilds already gave up. They think no one made it out. Bang places a hand on her shoulder. We'll handle it. The second team assembles before the shimmering gate. Bang raises his arm. Move out! But before they can step forward, the gate ripples violently. A blinding light bursts forth. Figures step out of the distortion. Dirty, battered, alive. The 7th team has returned. At their head stands Lim. Bang's eyes widen. Beck gasps, and then runs straight to him, throwing her arms around his chest. Lim! She cries. Lim stands stiff, awkward. I have a child on my back. Please let go. She ignores him completely. You're late! What happened? Lim sighs. Complications. Not something to discuss in public. She refuses to release him. I was worried sick. He looks utterly drained, eyes half closed. Can I go home now?
And that's a wrap for today's recap, but trust me, there's so much more to come. The next chapters are packed with even more twists, and I can't wait to dive into them with you. Comment below if you want part 2. Your thoughts mean everything, and we'll make it happen together. If you're enjoying the journey, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. We're pouring our heart into every video, improving day by day to give you the best experience. Your support really helps, and a like makes sure this video reaches more people. Let's grow this community together. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.